Hi everyone and welcome back to my video. As you can see, spring arrived in my flat. I'm surrounded by flowers. I got these tulips the other day. The nice orchid, we freshly got that one. It still needs a pot. I tried my luck in pottery the other day and tried to do a pot for it. It turned out horrendous. I'd rather leave it without a pot than putting my pot on there. But yeah, the topic today isn't flowers. My topic today is what is on my iPhone. This is a video that I think is quite interesting, especially in terms of apps that I use for my Instagram. So what do I use to edit my images? Also, what do I use for my YouTube? So I have a couple of apps that I use and some small tips and tricks that I have for you. So I think without further ado, let's jump right into it. So this is my iPhone. The case, well, it's not the prettiest anymore, as you can see. I lost a little bit. Don't really want to throw it away because it would be a waste. I might even scratch it off and put something underneath. That looks really cool as well. And yeah, I have the black version, and I'm gonna start screen recording now and show you what I have on my phone. So as you can see, this is my screensaver. I normally switch it up based on season, so I found something really spring-like and with the suns on there, which I think are actually quite cute. But moving on to the actual apps that are on my phone. So that is my first page. So I have everything on here that I'm using regularly, and I have like the basic stuff on the top. So the first row, like camera and everything like that. Then I have maps, and I constantly get told, don't use maps, don't use Google Maps. I do have Google Maps on there as well, but I just never use it. YouTube, my mail. So what I did, which I think is quite handy, is that I have synced my all my email addresses. Don't ask me why I have multiple ones. I just created multiple ones over the years, and I've synced them all with my mail, which is quite handy. Then I have my reminders, which I do use quite a lot actually. And then for news, I have like my Austrian, one of my Austrian news up here, and the BBC News as well, and then some finance bits, so my Revolut and Monzo account, PayPal account, stuff like that. LinkedIn, not that interesting. And then I think what is interesting is the whole YouTube folder I have here. So my most interesting one is probably Analytics Dashboard. As you can see, I've literally just uploaded the Elias skincare review today, so you actually know when I'm filming this. And as you can see, it's always the first couple of hours barely get any views because YouTube is processing your video. So that's kind of a trick that you learn, is that you should rather upload it in the morning, so by the evening YouTube process the video and people can see it, or at least that's what I've experienced. I always feel like after it's online for a few hours, that's the time then when people actually watch it. And yeah, you see like all the comments that you get, all your videos that you have, you see all the insights. You can go inside a video and then see more insights here. You see the comments again. You can go to the video analytics. I think it's really handy app. I use it quite a lot also to kind of see what videos performed really well. So for example, the one I just recently filmed with the I Followed Madison Beer's Vogue makeup tutorial performed really well, which also made me think of maybe I should film another one. So the next time Vogue releases a new video with a celebrity, I think I'm gonna jump onto that because it seems like a content that you guys enjoy watching. So it's really handy to kind of get a bit more insight what people like watching, how long they watch a video, when's kind of the time they jump off. So it gives you a lot of really cool insights. And then Tubebuddy and YouTube Tracker are very similar. They kind of just show you some insights on like your subscriber count and stuff like that. Same with Tubebuddy. Recorded is literally what I just use to record the screen. TikTok, I recently started TikTok if you want to follow me on there, and I haven't really uploaded a lot yet. As you can see, I just uploaded 6 videos so far, but I just wanted to give it a go.
Oh, I could never take that long to do my makeup. I just do my makeup in 10 minutes and I go. I know, Karen. I know. I can tell.
And then a really cool trick that I found is Google Drive. So I often take little clips with my phone, for example, or I take an image with my phone, and to get all the images and video clips over to my computer where I'm editing, I'm gonna use Google Drive. So I'm gonna upload everything on Google Drive, and then I access it on my computer and download everything again. So it makes it super simple. And then I have my Gmail, where I have my business email address for my YouTube channel as well. I know my YouTube isn't that big yet, but I kind of want to start off with separating my YouTube stuff with my private stuff, so that's why I try to not give out my private email address for any YouTube corporations that I have, so I always try to keep that separate. And then I have my Instagram. So with Instagram I have my private one where I just follow my friends and it's completely private so no one else can see it. And then I have my public one, which is the one I use basically for my YouTube, for you guys if you want to follow me, and it's a bit more created to support what I do on YouTube as well, so that's kind of a different one to what I have in my private one. Then Messenger, for music I have really random, a radio which we have in Austria. I sometimes quite like listening to it because I don't live in Austria anymore, so it's like kind of like holding on to like some nostalgic things from back home. And then I have my Spotify as well. I really love listening to audiobooks as well. I found a couple, okay, those are some German ones that might not be that interesting for you, but in general, like any ones that have to do with crime, I think are really, really fun. I especially love listening to them while I do my work. I often have to do a lot of analytical work and have to pull reports and do that stuff that's a bit boring to do. So in the meantime, I like listening to podcasts to keep me entertained. So that's quite fun. Traveling, yeah, that's not that interesting. My rail card, Uber, that kind of stuff. Apps or wallet settings, not interesting. So moving on to the second page, I use running to track if I ever go for a run, which barely ever happens. I track it with running. Bike Citizens is quite a fun app if you are biking a lot. It is an app that is just specialized on bike routes in this city, so you can download it and it specifically gives you the routes for biking. Games, I have a couple. I really love Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, so this one here. I play this way too much. Psych, Truth or Dare are just like fun apps to have on your phone when you are, let's say, with friends and you kind of hit the wall of like, what should we do? We don't really know. Then you can just like quickly, oh, let's play some Truth and Dare, and like open it up and throw some questions into the room. So it's quite fun. Moving on, yeah, Translate Leo is also a translating app. Netflix, of course, who doesn't have Netflix? Shazam is the kind of app that I actually don't want to have on my phone because I think it kind of takes away space. And it happened before that I deleted it and then I've heard a song and I couldn't download the app quick enough to get the song. So I always have it on there just in case, but it actually really annoys me because I barely ever use it. Pinterest I have especially to just get inspiration. As you can see at the moment, I'm looking for some great cake ideas. Flow is a really cool app, so this is for when you want to track your period. You can just put in the time you got it and the time it stopped. If you forgot a pill one day, you can basically track everything in there, which is really good if you do go to a gynecologist and they ask you a couple of questions or you feel something was wrong. You can always open up this app and say like, okay, this happened there, that happened here, so it's much easier. And then the next one, which I think is quite interesting for you guys, which is the photo and audio folder. I have quite a lot here just because I experiment a lot with different photo apps and I want to try out a lot, but I think the two or three, actually two that I stick to mainly at the moment is Light Leap, so the one at the bottom here. So if we just pick a random picture, what I currently try to do is that I edit my photos kind of in the same way so they are cohesive on my Instagram. So what I normally do is that I pick a filter and I don't have the pro version, so I have to go with the ones that are free. I go all the way to the back and then here we have the neutral section and I always go with the NT05. So you see it's kind of like a reddish warm tone filter, and I don't go all the way up. I would say like I go to like 30, something like that. And then sometimes I would blur out some parts. So I would blur out like the background. You see it automatically does it for you, that it blurs out the background, and then you can take the eraser and like, if it went onto your face, you can erase it a little bit. So sometimes when I want to blur out the background a little bit, I would do that, but also never too much. And then what I would use as well is adjust. So I would turn up the light a little bit, then temperature. I kind of like play around with it and see what's best. Sometimes I go up a tiny bit. And then tint, I always try to do like a tiny bit of a pink tint to my photos, so kind of tying in this whole pinkish warm theme. That's kind of how I do it, and then I save it. And then I go to Color Story, import my photo into here, and I really love this one because on the touch menu you can go to lighten, and then you have this option to just basically paint over areas that you want to have a bit more bright. So for example, if you have a really dark background, you can just like lighten it up a little bit. I know that's quite intense right now, but just as an option. And then the same thing with darken. So if you see like some parts of your hair should be a bit darker, then you can like paint over them a little bit and make them darker. So just as an example. And then when I'm happy with that, I can save it. And then what I sometimes do as well is I go to Facetune, and I don't use it to like retouch my face, like make it slimmer or anything, but it has a really cool option which is called smooth. If you want to blur out your skin a little bit, you can see like I'm blurring it out a tiny bit. I normally go over it like on full extent, and then I'll go down and see how much I want to have. So not too much, that will be enough. And then same with like glow. I really like the option that you can like glow up. Oh my god, that made my nose huge. I'm not going to use that. But yeah, you can glow up a little bit if you wanted to. So kind of like makes it look a bit more professional. Yeah, I would like play around with it and then try to compare it to my current Instagram pictures and upload it. And yeah, the other apps on here that I really like is Lightroom, really cool. And yeah, as you can see, I have quite a few on there just because I try to play around with the filters, what I like. But I do try to stick to like one theme for a while on my Instagram to kind of keep it nice and cohesive. And I can quickly show you on my Instagram what I mean. So as you can see, I try to keep everything in this like a little bit warmer shade. Everything is kind of like warmish, pinkish. Moving on, what do we have? Deliveroo, yeah, I mean, obvious. Brands in Town is, Bands in Town, not brand. Bands in Town is actually quite cool when everything's back open, because it shows you what kind of bands are in town, like small events. And then shopping, I have a couple of shopping ads on here. I have my Depop and Vinted, so when I want to sell stuff, which I currently actually do, so if you're interested, I can link my Depop and my Vinted account down below. But I have like some jeans on here, jackets, some shoes and stuff like that. Same with Depop. Then I have some NHS apps, then I have some work stuff. Treatwell is an app that I'm currently not really using, but I actually quite like it. If I ever book an appointment with a hairdresser or want to do my nails, I always do it via Treatwell. Picture This is like the coolest thing ever. I can literally show you. I have my plants behind me. So basically when you have a plant and you don't know what it is and you want to find out, you just go on Picture It, or Picture This, I can't remember. And then you go to the plant, take a picture, and then it finds out for you what it is. So here we go, we have a, Dendrobium orchid. That's basically the idea of this app. Really like it. Split is really handy if you're living together with other people and you want to organize your finances, so you can basically put everything on there that you've paid, even with multiple people, and it calculates for you who has to pay what amount to which person, basically. Super simple but super handy. Duolingo, yeah, I tried my luck with Italian on there. Tried it for like a few weeks and then stopped again, I think, like everyone else who has Duolingo. Masterclass, I recently got a yearly subscription for Masterclass because I actually really like what's on there. I especially like watching cooking videos, so especially Gordon Ramsay, and then there was some bread baking on there which I looked through, so really fun. And then the last slide on my phone, which is probably the most boring one, is video calls, Zoom and Skype, Google Maps, which everyone tells me to use instead of the Apple Maps, but I just never use it. As you can see, I'm currently on the hunt for some flats. Rightmove and Zoopla is on there. And then Nez, or I don't really know how you say this app, is quite handy when you live, I don't know if it's just in London or if you can do it somewhere else as well, but it basically shows you restaurants around you that currently have good offers on. So that was everything on my phone. I hope you enjoyed me showing you all the apps I have on there and what I use to edit my photos and what I use for my Instagram and for my YouTube and everything around that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what is your favorite app that I don't currently have on my phone that you think I really need to get. And yeah, let me know what your favorite one is. And otherwise, if you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next one. Bye!